So the next problem is called as discounting. So discounting is a very important concept, so ensure that you understand this concept really well. So we'll start with here. The value of money keeps going down if it is not invested. So why is it so? It's because of inflation, we can say. Okay, because the inflation, the money keeps on going down. Thus the value of rupee 1 will be less after 1 year and very less in 10 years time. So every year the value of money keeps on going down. Discounting tells us what is the worth of 1 rupee which is received in future or in 10 years time. So assume that someone gives you 100 rupees today. That 100 is very much worth than 100 that you are going to receive in 1 year, or 100 that you are going to receive in 10 years. Okay, so what happens is the value of money in today's term is high. In 1 year term it goes little bit low, but in 10 years time it goes very low. So the time value of money or discounting tells you that the amount that you're going to receive in 1 year time, what is its worth today, or the amount of money that you're going to receive in 10 years time, what it's worth today. Okay, so that is what discounting is. If you look at the formula is present value equals to future value divided by 1 plus r to the power of n. This formula is not new, it's just a compounding formula. In compounding formula you had future value equals to present value into 1 plus rn. So what happens is this PV remains here, but this 1 plus Rn goes as a denominator here. So it becomes 1 plus R to the power of n. So this is not here anymore. So look at now, you will get the formula. So PV equals to FV divided by 1 plus Rn. So both the formulas are same. What number you want to find out, that determines the formula. If you want present value, then it's discounting. If you want future value, then it is compounding. So we'll start from a problem. Okay, given a discount rate of 9%, calculate the present value of $1,000 cash flow that will be received in 5 years time. So we have to find out what's the present value equals to the future value, which is 1000. Will work as per the formula, divided by 1 plus 9% to the power of n. N is the number of years, so it is 5. So it will be 1000 divided by 1.09 to the power of 5. So again 1000 divided by 1.5386, so 649.9. okay, so if you're going to receive 1000 rupees from someone, okay, in and the discounting rate or the inflation rate in the country is 9%, and in 5 year time you're going to receive the 1000 rupees that they give in 5 years is only worth up to 649 in terms of today's amount. Okay, so this is how you solve the formula. But you might wonder like how this number came. So you can also get this number like this: 1.09 into 1.09 into 1.09 into 1.09 into 1.09. If you do, you will get this. As this is very tough, okay, it's better to do this one. So to do this one, you can just take 1.09. okay, say take a scientific calculator and put the power button like this, okay, and put 5. So you will get the, and put an equal symbol, you will get this number very quickly, but you won't get this symbol in a normal calculator. So that is a problem. So doing this approach is tough. Doing this approach in a normal calculator is not possible. Okay, you have to have a scientific calculator, then only you can do it. So there is a much easier way to do this. So we'll look at that. So we'll again do the same logic with the table. So take the 1000 and just multiply, rather than divide, multiply it with the present value table, okay. And in present value table, what you have to look, 9% for 5 year, you have to look that. So we'll try to look that and get an answer. 9%. So this is a present value table. So here on one side you have all the periods, on the other side you have the discounting factors. So our job is to find out the 9% number for 5 years. If you look, it comes to 0.65. So we'll take that number So 0.650 was the number. You should always take after decimal 3 numbers while using a present value table. That is like very important. Use 3 numbers after decimal. So look at the number, we got 650. So this 650 is the same as what we did earlier, but it takes a very shorter amount of time. So you should be able to do it in two ways. One, either through looking at the table or using the power function in your scientific calculator and quickly getting the number. So ensure that you have understood this, and we'll go to the next problem. So the next problem is PV of a series of amount, a present value of series of amount. An investment is expected to produce the cash flows of 500, 200, 800 at the end of next 3 years. If the required rate of return is 12%, what is the present value of this investment? Okay, so he says that we are going to receive the cash always in the end of the year. So as per the assumption used in this calculation, okay, the assumption that is used here is the zeroth year. The zeroth year refers to the starting of year 1. So that is the starting of the first year. What's the first year then refers? The first year always refers to the end of year 1. Okay, so the same logic keeps on continuing. So for second year, if you take, second year is nothing but end of year 2. So if you assume this to be January 1st of the year 20, this is going to be December 31st of the year 20. Okay, this is going to be December 31st of 21 year. Okay, so that's how it keeps on rolling. So if they say first year, it is always the first year end. If you say second year, it is always the second year end. If you say the cash flow is received at the start, it is called as the starting of the year or the zeroth year. Okay, so ensure that you understand this concept really well. And also the first year is represented as December 31st 2000, but we can also say that it can also be January 1st of 21, because there's just a 1 day difference between the both. So we can also say that if they say the cash flow is going to be received on January 1st 2021, then that is the same as December 31st 20. So if you say that January 1st 22, that is like similar to this number. So if a problem states that the first year cash flow is received on Jan 1 2020 and the other cash flows are received at the end of the year, so these are the end of the year, it can be year 1 and year 2. If a problem states that the first cash flow is received today, and today is January 1 20, that is today, and the next cash flows are going to be received in the starting of the year, so 1st January 21, 1st January 22, if it states like that, then there is just a 1 year difference between the both. If this refers to the 0th year, okay, the 1 year cash flow that is received will be called as first year, and the second year cash flow will be noted as the second year. Okay, so that's how it works. So we'll move on to solve this problem. So we'll set up a table. So we had 3 years, 1, 2 and 3. We look at our cash flow. Our cash flow are 500, 200, 800. So what is the discount factor? For discount factor, we can actually look at the table itself. So the first 3 years is 1, 2, 3. So these are the numbers. So these are the numbers. Okay, so we'll multiply and we'll get the answer. Just multiply this cash flow into this number and you'll get the answer, because this is the first year discount factor, this is a second year discount factor, and this is a third year discount factor. The sum has indicated that the cash flow is received at the end of the next 3 years. So end is first year end, second year end and third year end. So the discount factor is also how we received first year discount factor, second year discount factor, and third year discount factor. So the total comes to 1175.5. so that is the total of present value. So that's how we got it. So should we always look at the discounting factor table or the present value table and get the numbers like this? The answer is no. There is also another way to do it. We'll just do it now. So what you can do is, for the year 1, year 2 and year 3, you can do it like this. Take the number 1 divided by 1.12. okay, you will get a number. The number that you will get is 0.893. take that number and use again divided by 1.12. you will get 0.797. again take the 0.797 and divided by 1.12. you will get 0.712. so without looking at the table, this is a much quicker approach. So you take the first number divided by 1.2, you get this number. Take this number as a numerator, again divided by this, you will get another number. Keep on doing it repetitively, you will get the numbers that you require. This can be done for around some 5 years or numbers or 5 iterations. But if it's going to be a lengthier sum, something like 10 years, then we have to look at the the present value table. So ensure that you understand this. Assume the same question, instead of giving you 12%, they give you something like 5%. Then how do you divide? If the question is giving 5%, you have to use it like this: 1 divided by 1.05. if they give you 10%, you divide it by 1.1. if they give 12%, you keep dividing it by 1 divided by 1.12. if they give you 20%, then start with 1 divided by 1.2. okay, so you move in this order, you'll get the answers. So always start, this will be the first year number. okay, this will be the first year number, and keep on doing it iteratively, so you'll get the other year numbers like this. okay, ensure that you understand this concept so that it's easier when you go in for a lengthier problems.